What's going on, guys? I'm Alejandro Mendoza, and in this video I'm going to be discussing why I think that Digimon Adventure Try will get a sequel. So since I am on the topic of sequels, I want to ask you guys, do you personally want Digimon Adventure Try to get a sequel? Obviously post what you think down in the comments below, and let's begin. Now with this video I will be going over things that I see, I repeat, things that I see that could point to or support the idea that Try will get a sequel, as well as going over things that oppose it. Now, that doesn't mean I will only be talking about, say, what the creators of Try have said in interviews, although I do plan on using at least one of their statements. However, one thing I want to make clear is that just because I think that Digimon Adventure Try will get a sequel, that obviously doesn't mean it will happen. Also, if I make a mistake during the video with some of the facts, or I miss out on a reason that you guys think opposes Try getting a sequel or that supports it, feel free to post it down in the comments. Feel free to post it in the comments down below, and I apologize in advance if I do make a mistake. Also, I will leave links in the description to all the websites that I used that cited profits that Digimon Adventure Try made, and those said profits can range from how much the movies made on the first weekend to how much they made overall in Japan. Although, bear in mind that one of the websites I used does have an error within it, since it states that Digimon Adventure Try Confession made 550 million yen within 4 days of its release, when actually it made 55 million yen within 4 days of its release. And some of you are probably wondering, well, if there's an error in this website, why are you using it? And the reason why I'm still using the website is because while it did make that error with the 550 million yen, all the other facts in it, I checked with the other websites that I used, and everything else matched up. So, excluding that one error, everything else on that site should be fine. Hopefully. But, with all that being said, let's get into why I think that Digimon Adventure Try will get a sequel. So, what I want to address first are the things that oppose Try getting a sequel, and the main thing that suggests that it won't get a sequel, or at least the main thing that I see that opposes it, is the statement that was made when Try was first announced. And the statement in question is the one that said that Digimon Adventure Try would be a 6-part movie series. And between the time since that statement was said up to today, nothing else has been said on the matter. Now, the statement is not referring to say all of Digimon are a sequel to Try, but rather it's only talking about Digimon Adventure Try itself being a 6-part movie series. And, so while Try itself will end after the 6th movie, that doesn't mean that all chances of a sequel are lost, since, like I said, the statement itself is only referring to Try. Also, something else to note is that when it comes to Digimon, this is something I'm pretty sure you all know, like, I'm about 99% sure you all know this, but continuing on, when it comes to Digimon, whenever a season of Digimon would end, later seasons always change their names to something different. Not, complete name changes, obviously, since future seasons were still about Digimon, but, seasons following Digimon Adventure always added onto them new titles that showed while they weren't the same thing as the original Digimon, they were still a part of the franchise, whether they be sequels or reboots to previous seasons. And because, we went from Digimon Adventure to Digimon Adventure 02, a sequel to the original, story, and then we went from Digimon Adventure 02 to Digimon Tamers, the first reboot to the Digimon franchise, no pun intended. And the series continued moving forward, adding more characters, more types of Digivolution, and more unique elements into the Digimon franchise. And Digimon Adventure Try is no exception to this, as just like Digimon Adventure 02, it's a sequel to Digimon Adventure, along with being a sequel to 02. So, like I said before, even though Try will end after the next movie, the statement was only talking about Try itself, and that doesn't mean there is no chance for a sequel series to it. Also, something else to note is that since the next Try movie, Our Future, is supposed to be the last part in the Try series, that would mean that it has to answer all the questions and mysteries that have been presented in Try. And personally, I don't think that it can answer all those questions, because even if the last movie were to focus on answering all those said questions and mysteries, most of the explanations would, some of the explanations would probably be pretty crappy, or there just wouldn't be enough time to answer all of them in a single movie. And yeah, like that's also something to note. Like, I mean, the writers of Try, like, maybe they just like don't care, and they're like, you know, like, okay, we'll just give all these crappy explanations, but hopefully, like, they don't do that in the last movie. Like, they're just trying to fill out the time and just giving us all these horrible explanations. Like, I would want there to be good explanations for everything that's been going on. Alright, so now that I've gone over the main reason that really opposes Try getting a sequel, let's get into the points that I see that could support Digimon Adventure Try getting a sequel. Now, something important that we have to take into account with this topic is that Toei Animation, their main goal with Try is obviously to make money. And, you know, obviously to them, Try is just a money-making product for them, and if it isn't bringing in the big bucks, then they'll drop it or cancel it. And, you know, from this, another variable has to be taken into account as well. That variable being how popular a series is. So then the question has to be asked, how well has Digimon Adventure Try been doing when it comes to making profits? And is Digimon Adventure Try a popular enough and profitable enough series for Toei Animation to want to continue on with it? Now, something to keep in mind about films based on anime. Not animated films like Frozen, just movies based on anime. These anime movies do not tend to make as much as, say, movies made here, like such as Star Wars The Force Awakens. Like, you know, you could compare the highest grossing films ever made to the highest grossing anime films, and the anime films don't really come close in terms of profit. Like, take for example the #1 highest grossing film, which is Avatar. Avatar made around, if not more than, $2.8 billion worldwide. And then you can compare that to the highest grossing anime film, which is a film called Your Name, and that film only made approximately $355 million worldwide, which is only a fraction of what Avatar made. So, you know, that is something you should keep in mind when I'm going over the amount of money the Digimon Adventure Try movies have made, because while it might not seem like a lot for Digimon, the amount of revenue made is actually pretty good. So once again, I'll leave links to the websites I used in the description down below. But according to all these websites, Try has been doing pretty good profit-wise, especially considering Try's situation. And you know what I mean by Try's situation is that apparently for Digimon Adventure Try Reunion, Determination, and Confession, I'm not too sure if Lost and Symbiosis had the same situation, but I would assume they did, considering, you know, they're still a part of the Digimon Adventure Try franchise. But regardless, most, if not all, of the Digimon Adventure Try movies, when they were aired in theaters in Japan, had very small screenings. They were only shown in, apparently they were only shown in around 10 to 11 theaters throughout the country. And, you know, yet despite the fact that the movies were not being shown in a lot of Japanese theaters, Try still managed to do very well, with Digimon Adventure Try Reunion having a box office gross of 230 million yen, or about $2.3 million. Then you have Determination earning 160 million yen, or around $1.6 million. Confession made 120 million yen, or approximately $1.15 million. Lost profiting 140 million yen, or about $1.26 million. And finally, Symbiosis with a box office gross of 100 million yen, or around $882,000. Also, because of how much Reunion, Determination, and Confession made, I'm not too sure if like Lost and Symbiosis had the same accomplishment, but regardless, the first three films took first place in movie theater rankings in Japan. You know, so needless to say, Digimon Adventure Try has at least been doing decently when it comes to making money, especially considering that the movies had very small screenings, being shown in only 10 to 11 theaters throughout Japan. Not only that, but because of all the Try movies were able to make close to $1 million, if not more than $1 million, despite the circumstances, that in itself shows that Digimon Adventure Try has a lot of popularity. Because, I mean, you know, Digimon obviously isn't the most popular series ever, but come on, all the Try movies making at least close to $1 million, if not more, despite the fact they were only shown in 10 to 11 movie theaters throughout Japan, shows that Digimon is a pretty popular series. So, you know, answering the question I asked before, I would say that yes, Digimon Adventure Try is profitable and popular enough for Toei to want to continue on with it. And that if Toei doesn't realize that, then what the hell are they doing? Now, there is still one more thing that I see that could point to Try getting a sequel. So the next reason I'm going to talk about doesn't really have to do with financial or popularity reasons, but rather it has to do with the fact that I can see something similar happening to Try that happened with another franchise. And the other franchise I am referring to is the Dragon Ball franchise. Now, I'm betting a lot of you are thinking, what the heck does Dragon Ball have in common with Digimon? And I'll obviously explain what I see. So, first off, the original Dragon Ball, obviously, Dragon Ball Z and regular Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Super, along with what I guess you could call the original Digimon, that being Digimon Adventure and Digimon Adventure 02, both of the original series ended a while ago. Now, the franchises of both series still continue on, with Dragon Ball getting tons of video games, a sequel called Dragon Ball GT, and just because it was so popular, the popularity basically kept Dragon Ball going. Then with Digimon, we obviously had new seasons of the series that continued the franchise, such as Tamers and Frontier, along with new Digimon video games and its own popularity as well. However, the seasons after season 2 never continued on with the story of Tai, Davis, and the others, and Dragon Ball GT left people wanting more Dragon Ball. So, years obviously passed, and the creator of Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama, and Toei Animation decided to continue on with Dragon Ball Z by creating a sequel movie that we know today as Battle of Gods. Battle of Gods, that was then also given a sequel called Resurrection F. And before long, Toei Animation then proceeded to announce that Dragon Ball Z, after it had been over for over 10 years, is going to get a sequel anime series known as Dragon Ball Super. And something similar has also been happening with Digimon Adventure, because obviously, Toei announced that for Digimon's 15th year anniversary, they were going to make a 6-part movie series that serves as a follow-up to Digimon Adventure and Digimon Adventure 02. That follow-up obviously being Try. And, it's a movie series just like Battle of Gods and Resurrection F were. And not only that, but something that Battle of Gods and Resurrection F both did that the Digimon Adventure Try series has been doing as well, is expand greatly on each universe's lore and allow for each franchise to have many places where the story of each could continue on. And, for example, during Battle of Gods, we found out that there are 12 universes in the Dragon Ball universe. And, then in Dragon Ball Super, that idea was expanded upon and used in arcs within it, such as the Universe 7 versus Universe 6 arc, or the Tournament of Power arc, or Universe Survival arc. And that's going on right now. And, Battle of Gods and Resurrection F also introduced the concept of God Key, along with the Gods of Destruction and the Angels, all of which have been expanded upon in Dragon Ball Super. And, Digimon Adventure Try has also been introducing many new concepts and expanding on old ideas in the Digimon Adventure universe, such as homeostasis, the reboot, the original Digidestined, and a new world known as the Quantum Seed. And we know about this new world because in Confession, Homeostasis said that the digital world arose from the Quantum Seed. And in Confession, it was also stated that every possible world has emerged in a multi-layered way. This, sorry about that, excuse me. This suggests that besides the worlds that we know right now, there are many other worlds besides them, including the Quantum Seed. Not to mention that there are still a bunch of mysteries within Try that need or could be elaborated on. Now, just because I'm saying that there are mysteries that still need to be explained, I'm not saying that that's a good thing or that it excuses any bad writing in the series. Because even if, say, they are planning on making a sequel, they still should have at least did a better job at writing some of these mysteries, or they should have at least begun to explain some of them by now. And I'm pretty sure you guys already know what I'm talking about, since I've already spoken about it so much. But besides the missing 02 Digidestined, there's also, who is Alphamon working for? How did Jedi become corrupted? Is Jedi really Jedi? What about that opening during Reunion where it talks about two beings called Idia and Demigray? What was the point of adding that into the movie if the writers were never going to expand on it? Is Maki dead? How did Maki have Ken's Digivice? Where are the 02 casts? I mean, the list of questions and mysteries in Try that need to be answered just goes on. And however, even though the writers haven't been doing a very good job at explaining or answering these questions and mysteries, the one thing that all these questions and mysteries does do is leave room for the writers to continue on with the story even after Try ends. Because just like with Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, the Try movies, like I said, have added a ton of new concepts that could be expanded upon, and it also has posed a lot of mysteries and questions that need to be answered. And, you know, like I said before, even if the final movie of Try does try to answer all of them, it's highly unlikely that it will be able to do it in just a singular movie, or at least do it in a good way that makes sense. So, you know, from all this, we know that, you know, Digimon itself is pretty profitable. It has decent popularity at least, and that there is plenty of room for the writers to continue on with the story if they wanted to. So, with all these things in mind, I would say that Digimon Adventure Try it's very likely that I'll get a sequel. Again though, this is just my opinion, and Try, you know, obviously still might not get a sequel, but for me, I would say that Try at least has a decent chance to get one. But yeah, before that being said, this is going to be the end of the video. So, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, maybe leave a like, and if you're enjoying the content I'm producing, maybe consider subscribing. And if you're already subscribed, then thank you. You guys are awesome. And even if you're not subscribed, just thank you for watching my videos. So, once again, thank you all for watching. I am Alejandro Mendoza, and I will see you later. Bye.